Good morning, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Make Saints podcast. I'm Drew Downs, and this one is called Peacemakers. Now, I know it has been a minute. I took a little break at the end of 2024 and then the beginning of 2025. But this is the first episode of the new season, and I am back with new episodes as we're all trying to make sense of this world. There is so much going on, and we're going to wrestle with a lot of it. But today, I wanted to talk about what happened this past week. I don't know if you noticed, but the church made some news as the Right Reverend Marianne Edgar Buddy, Bishop of the Episcopal Diocese of Washington, preached in her pulpit at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. Now, this was a prayer service for unity. This is a thing that they do. And so many people were in attendance, and she preached about unity. And what is central to unity and the Christian faith is mercy. So she asked the president to be merciful, because that's who we are as Christians. And invoking the Torah command that was repeated by Jesus in the Gospels, that we are to have mercy on immigrants, because we too are immigrants. The president then went online that evening and said some awful things in response, and there was a lot of reaction in the world to this moment. Of all the things I hear people discussing about the homily, however, there is something absent from the noise. And that's what I want to share with you today. I want to suggest we seriously consider why anyone would think this man is an authority on Christian theology and practice. Right? Things such as the quality of liturgy, or whether someone is being nasty to him in the pulpit. Why would we take his word for this? We should consider why we'd even listen to someone who rails against a proclamation of mercy and calls it gross and nasty. It's telling that we let the most egregious statements stand as mere opinion and point of view, rather than the gaslighting it is intended to be. So there is no debate in the honest sense. Bishop Buddy offered a generous, even-tempered address, most common in its use, and so grounded in the gospel and tradition both. She referenced Hebrew and Greek scriptures, referred to foundational truths about the Christian tradition throughout history, and his response was petty and biased, invoking an authority of how to interpret the experience not earned by any experience with the church, the gospel, or our tradition. His defenders have found novel ways to reinterpret Christian faith as being against mercy and empathy and dignity. Again, claiming an authority to speak for the community and its commonly held traditions as being the opposite from what they are. I suspect many of us too easily will call this gaslighting, because that's what it is. But I'm surprised at how easily the public accepts the narrative of the gaslighter from the position of the gaslit. To contend that this is political or divisive, or that Bishop Buddy actually was calling out the president, or that his Yelp review of the service on Truth Social had any honesty or integrity to it. As if the naked aggression is normal and expected, or that his supporters leaping to reject empathy and mercy, to seek political means of censure and censorship of the bishop and the church, is somehow a side in a debate, a political consequence within the power of the presidency, rather than a rewriting of the common vision of the church without our consent. None of this is okay, friends. And what it displays is not just the vile aggression of power or the predictable violation of norms by the powerful, but also the willingness of many to put that into just a bucket of belief, of something we can name and know and call it Trumpian or MAGA or evangelical or, as they so desire, Christian. This is the hope, that we accept a different vision of a common faith, one that you and I didn't participate in writing and forming, one that is handed to us without a vote at a national convention, to allow ourselves to be placed outside the acceptable circle because they know that as long as we're in the circle, their vision is contested. So get rid of us. Stay in the circle, friends. And more than that, do not accept the idea that the circle can be rewritten without you, that it can be imposed on you by people whose vision is so alien to our common faith because it rejects its foundational principles. For as long as we embrace our tradition's principles, which includes mercy for the oppressed and generous care for the immigrant, we are fully standing within our tradition's history and values and proclaiming a message of hope for the future. Love well, friends. Be merciful. Give hope to the immigrant and the oppressed. Read the Beatitudes and the rest of the Sermon on the Mount, for that matter. But start in Matthew 5, where we can see who is blessed by God. And it is not the person doing the persecuting. It's the one being persecuted because of Jesus and his peacemaking ambitions to undermine the world's obsession with power and control and dominance and exploitation. We are called to make peace, shalom, which is a rejection of violence and an end to war, yes, but it's also an end to injustice and oppression and unhealth and division, and replace it with justice and freedom, health, wholeness, hope. Actual, genuine, life-brightening peace. Peace for, peace from, peace to, peace with, peace in everything. Be well, and we'll see you next time.